So we're talking, what, 13 years ago? So he saw the broke David. All right? So he can hear what I'm saying, and he understands because he's like, I know where he was. I'm not just seeing him today. I really know, like, okay, like this guy was really living with his dad. This guy really didn't have a car. So when I'm telling you, the reason why I'm even spending time saying this is because I want you to know that what I'm sharing with you it's not a game. It's not just words. This is my life. This is what I do. This is what I did, and I still do it today. I still do it today, and it still works. But I got to tell you, there has to be a burning desire for this, because it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Does that make sense? It's really simple, but it's not easy. I don't get so much into the technicalities of how to build a business or how to trade or anything like that, because those things take care of themselves if you understand the law. All right? If you understand the law, those things will take care of themselves. There's a formula that I came up with years ago, right about 10 years ago. Someone sent me a video, or they put it in a group chat. Ria, did you see that video?
Which one?
It's in the I'm a Cash Millionaire group. And it was me speaking in 2011. It's hilarious. I'm talking about a Mont Blanc pen.
Oh, yeah.
And I was listening to it again today. This is 8 years ago. And I'm saying the same thing I say today. It's on YouTube, yeah. And I was just laughing, like, and when watch this. When I was giving that speech in 2011, that was January 2011. I had just come off a year where I made $500,000 that year. 2010, I made $566,000. So when I was giving this speech in 2011, I was making on average about $45,000 to $50,000 a month. I'm going to say the exact same thing to you today, but at $25,000 to $26,000 a day. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I was laughing. I was like, this is so funny. This formula is called the success formula. Right? The book or the audio, The Strangest Secret. How many of you heard of that audio before? Okay? If you haven't heard that audio, write it down. Please, write it down. It's 36 minutes. It's called what? How many of you have heard it before? Raise your hand if you've heard it before. Okay? If you haven't heard it, it's 36 minutes that can absolutely change your life forever. 36 minutes. Earl Nightingale created that audio. He was in the 50s. And, so many definitions for success, but he gave the definition that I most resonate with, all right? And the definition for success was a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Progressive. What does progressive mean? Progressive means that it's what?
Moving forward.
Ongoing. All right? Realization. Meaning that what? It's constantly what? Unfolding. Right? The progressive realization of a worthy what? Ideal. Another word for ideal is focus. Another word for ideal is goal. Another thing that I learned about success is that success is a moving target. It's a moving target, so never be frustrated at where you are right now, because success is a moving target. What do I mean by that? See, some of you today, $10,000 a month, you would feel like you were successful. But I promise you, when you get to $10,000 a month, you're going to want 20. And when you get to 20, some of you would think right now, if you're making $20,000 a month, boy, I'm a winner. What are you talking about? I promise you, when you get to 20, you're going to want 50. See, success just moved. It's a progressive realization. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about growth. It's about developing. Does that make sense? Who do I need to become to be the person that's worth $2 million a month? So it's about development. It's about growth. It's about realizing. It's about progressing, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the challenge for most people. Most people are not really clear on what success means for them. They're not what?
Clear.
They're not clear. You've got to get clarity, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to get clear on what success means for you. I am extremely clear on what success means for me in this business. I'm so clear on it, not only do I know it, you know it too. What is success for me in this business?
200 chairmen.
200 chairmen.
Brand new chairmen. I am very clear on that. Now, I love words. When something is clear, what does that mean? When something is clear, what does that mean? That means you can what? See it. You can really see it. So if I can't see it, it means that it's not clear. Does that make it, like, that's common sense, right? Like, if I can't see it, then it's not what? Clear. But interestingly enough, the word ear isn't clear. So that also means if I can't hear it, it's not clear. So when I say most people are not really clear on what it is that they want, Dave, let me see my bag real quick. Right? When I say people are not clear, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that you're not seeing and you're not hearing. Thank you. You're not seeing and you're not hearing. Right? I am very clear. Like I'm traveling like crazy right now. So I'm not at home, right? So I've got to have this with me. Why do I have to have this with me? Because I have to be what? I have to be very clear. I have to be very clear. It says, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 200 brand new chairman 10s and above in my organization by December 31st, 2019. I am clear. At the end of the presentation, I didn't say what I said for you. I didn't talk about the 200 chairmen for you. I talked about the 200 chairmen for me. For my hearing. I need to hear that. How often? Every day. Because if I'm not hearing that every day, guess what? Something else can enter into my hearing. You're going to hear something. You're going to see something. But you have to be able to control what you're seeing. You have to be able to control what it is that you're hearing. Does that make sense? You've got to get clear on what success means to you. See, at one point in my life, $10,000 a month, that was success. I was clear on it. And then at one point in my life, earning $1,000 a day was my goal. So every time I was so happy and grateful now, earning $1,000 a day. And I thought when I got to $30,000 a month, I was done. Oops. Finished. I'm moving to Hawaii. I'm finished. What more do you want? And then when I got there, I was like, oh. And that's going to happen for you too. It's a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Guys, this works for anything. It doesn't just work with IML. It doesn't just work with network marketing. It doesn't just work with trading. It works with anything you're going to be successful at. what I'm going to share with you right now works for everything. This formula came up with it about 10 years ago. It starts with desire. Starts with what?
Desire.
But what I'm going to share with you tonight, ladies, is so powerful. It's so powerful. I'm telling you, like, if you get this, your life is completely different. In the book Think and Grow Rich, it said that desire is the starting point of all achievement. How many read the book Think and Grow Rich? Right? It said that desire is the starting point of all achievement. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. If I ask you, do you have desires? You go, yeah, but you really don't have a desire for it. I know you don't. How many of you have a favorite food? Okay, favorite food. Sir, what's your favorite food?
Mango.
Mangoes. I love mangoes too. I do. Now watch this. Have you ever had a desire for a mango? Right? Why did you desire it? Because I what? Huh? Because he's already tasted it. You can only have a desire for something you've tasted. Hello? You get that? You can't say you want $1 million if you've never tasted it. You can't say it's a desire of yours. Look, I looked up this word, right? Desire. Desire means a strong feeling to have something. Write that down. Desire means, this is definition time, a strong, what?
Feeling.
Feeling to have something. The way a feeling is created starts with a thought. Hello? Y'all with me?
Yes.
So the thought comes to your mind of, I'll give you an example, $10,000 a month. I feel very uncomfortable talking about that, but let's just go with that for tonight. I do. The thought comes to your mind. But what you need to do is you need to take that thought and then take it to thinking. A thought happens one time. You know you have about 70 thoughts a day? Right? You have 70 thoughts per day. So you can't tell me all 70 thoughts you had today, but you can definitely tell me the one that you've been thinking about. Right? I have a thought and then I think about it, right? I'm thinking on it, that means it's continuous, right? So I have the thought of 10,000, but now I've got to be thinking about it. Whatever you're thinking about then creates a feeling, which is a desire. Y'all get this? Okay? Now, where do thoughts come from? Where do they originate from? They originate from three places. God, the enemy, yes, and your five senses. Now, the enemy is not some guy with horns. That's not the enemy. The enemy is any thought that is contrary to what God says about you. And some of you who are offended by God, the universe. Okay? Thoughts come from God, they come from the enemy, they come from your five senses. What are your five senses?
Hearing.
Come on, talk to me. What are your five senses? Taste, smell, hear. No, it's not feel. Feel is not one of your five senses. See, touch. Okay, so check this out. In order to have a strong desire, a strong feeling for something, your five senses create that feeling. Because he has tasted a mango before, he felt like he wanted a mango. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay? The two most important ones you really want to really catch in on, okay, is not smell. Smell is important too. I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. Hear and see. Hear and see. All of them are important. But hearing your desire and seeing your desire every day is critical to creating it to become a strong feeling. Does that make sense? So, how did the other senses come into play? Well, if your desire is $10K a month, how many right now your desire is $10,000 a month? Raise your hand, $10,000 a month. Now watch this. At $10,000 a month, there are certain places that you would go and eat. At $10,000 a month, there's certain places you wouldn't go and eat. So what you would need to do is you need to take yourself right now, who's not at $10,000 a month, and go to the places where you would be eating at $10,000 a month. If I would be going to the most expensive restaurants in San Diego. I would be going to the most expensive hotels in San Diego. Why? Because I've got to create what? The feeling. I've got to create the desire for it. You know, certain restaurants and certain hotels smell different. You know that, right? Yeah. See, what we're talking about here, guys, is we're talking about a comfort zone. You have to create a different comfort zone. Years ago, I used to wear a cologne called Intuition. Anybody know Intuition? It's by Estee Lauder. That's what I used to wear. And then someone gave me a sample. They gave me what? A sample. Now, what did that sample represent? An experience. They gave me a sample of Bond number 9. I love it. Now, Estee Lauder is a $60 bottle cologne. Bond is $300. When he gave me the sample, I could not afford to buy a $300 bottle cologne. I could afford a $60 bottle cologne. I could, $300, why? Why would I spend $300 on cologne? That's crazy. It's nuts. But he gave me a sample of it. Right? So now, guess what? I now have a desire for Bond. I start making enough money to where I can buy a $300 bottle of cologne. So what do I buy? I buy Bond. I'm wearing Bond, everything is going well, things are going great, and then a broke thought comes into my mind. Why are you spending $300 on a bottle of cologne when you can just wear Estee Lauder? $60, that's what you used to wear. Well, just go back to that. So I go in the mall, and I go to Estee Lauder, and I spray it, and I put it to my nose, and my nose says, hell no. Why? Because my nose had experienced a higher level. Think it sounds, it's not crazy. All right? Clothes. I can't wear a collar shirt off the rack. I can't wear a non-custom made suit. I can't. Why? Why? Because I've experienced it. Does that make sense? And there's a certain amount of money you have to earn to be able to wear custom-made suits. So because I have to earn a certain amount of money to wear custom-made suits, do y'all get the correlation here?
Yeah.
If you don't experience it, the money can't come. That's why we tell you to go to the dealership and sit in the car. That's why we tell you to go to the expensive hotel. That's why we tell you to go to the $1 million home. Because you have to experience it first before it shows up physically. It said, I will give you the desires of your heart. Have you heard that before? Yes. I will give you the desires of your what? Heart. So that means that I have to transfer my desire to my heart. How do I make that transfer? My five senses. Because your eyes are gates to your heart, your ears are gates to your heart. Okay? Touch. Why is touch so important?
Gotta touch that thing.
Experience. You don't believe me? Okay? Tomorrow, go to the Bentley dealership. Sit in there. Sit in there for about 15 minutes. And then go back in your car. You will feel uncomfortable in your car. I'm telling you guys, this stuff works. I'm telling you how you need to create the desire for not just to say it on a surface level and say, yeah, I really want to make $10,000 a month. You've got to go live like $10,000 a month before the $10,000 a month shows up.
Sir. What if you don't want those?
We're talking to the people that want that. There are people out there that don't want that. It's fine. You don't want that. Whatever it is that you want, this still works for it too. It still works for it too.
I want it.
Okay? It doesn't matter. All right? We're just happy to be talking about money tonight. But it works for everything. Okay? Desire, ladies and gentlemen. You have to create the desire for it. Because once you have a desire for it, we won't have to motivate you to go and do the work. If we have to motivate you to go and do the work, ladies and gentlemen, then you don't have a desire for it. This is the mind. This is the body. The body obeys the mind. You don't believe me? How many of you have ever been writing something down and someone says something and you write down what they said? Has it ever happened to you before? You weren't planning on writing that. You were writing something else. But you heard something else and your hand, your body, all of a sudden wrote what the person said. I'll give you another example of this, of how your mind works. The car you currently drive right now, prior to you buying that car, once you made the decision, or maybe you went to the dealership and you saw the car, you test drove the car, could you now start to see the car on the road a little bit more? Raise your hand if this ever happened to you before. It's not that people now all of a sudden went and started buying that car. You made it important to you, so now your eyes could see everything that had to do with that car. If you make $10,000 a month important to you, then your eyes will start to see the people that will come into your life that will assist you in getting to $10,000 a month.
Come on.
They're already around you. These 200 chairmen, they're already around me.
Here I go.
I just have to keep saying it and seeing it every single day. And guess what? I'm going to run into, did I run into any chairmen tonight?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I think I did. Right? Puerto Rico tomorrow, I'm going to run into some champions. I'm going to run into some champions then too. Whatever city I was in a couple days ago, I ran into some champions then too. Matter of fact, there's going to be some champions in my organization that I don't even know. That I've never even met. Desire, ladies and gentlemen. Skill, this is the work. This is repetition. Repetition on trading, repetition on building a business. Find one strategy, two strategies, and repeat it over and over and over and over again. I do the same presentation over and over and over again. I don't change it. Here's the gift you have. Whatever you do on a repetitious basis, you will become great at it. Everything you're great at today is because you've done it over and over and over again. That's all. So you want to be great at presenting? Guess what you got to do? Present. You want to be great at prospecting? Guess what you got to do? Prospect. You want to be great at promoting for events? Guess what you got to do? Promote for events. It's not rocket science. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. We had an event in Atlanta, we promote for that. We got an event in Las Vegas, promote for that. We got another event that we're going to plan for May, promote for that. Okay? I think it's time that the West Coast, San Diego, LA, that a Super Saturday takes place in this region.
Yes.
All right? Where we can have Yvonne Tapia come and Alex Morton come and some other top leaders come as well.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. Let's get it.
Okay. Times faith. What's the formula? Desire plus skills times faith. I just explained to you how to create the desire. How do you create it?
5 senses.
5 senses. Put the goals around you. See the goals. Hear the goals. Go and experience the things that you would have once you accomplish the goal. You know what you would do with $10,000 a month. You know where you would live. You know what you would drive. You know where you would eat. You know where you would shop. Go there now. Start dressing like a chairman. Start dressing like you make $10,000 a month.
Right.
2008, 2007, 2008, broke, not making a whole lot of money. In a company, I hit a $1,000 bonus. You know what I did? I went and bought a pair of Gucci shoes for $450. David, why would you do that? Because people are judgmental. They are. Do you know how much money I made on those Gucci shoes? Millions. None. Millions. Millions. Nothing I've ever done equates to none. Millions of dollars. Your parents, people look at your parents. If they're going to do business with you, they're going to judge you. They shouldn't, but that's what they do. They look at you. Women, you see another woman, what do you look at first?
Her eyes.
David, you got it.
We're going to keep it rated G tonight, please. I thought it was hair, nails, maybe. Is that about what it is? San Diego, huh? Okay. What was I talking about? Listen, guys, listen. If you want to reject this information for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Let me be more blunt. I don't care. I honestly, I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for 200. There's 7 billion people on this planet. I'm looking for 200 that want to believe that they can make $10,000 a month. If it's not you,
It's all right.
it doesn't matter. And that's how you have to feel about your goal. people that are not part of your plan. And that's okay. Stay focused on where it is that you're going, and those people will show up.
Yep. Yes.
They will. Okay? Nothing. Okay? Nothing great that you're going to accomplish will ever be accomplished. It cannot be accomplished without faith. Okay? You're going to need faith. I'm sorry. You're going to need it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You're not going to see it initially. Stop trying to see it physically initially. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen, not evidence of things not heard. It is the evidence of things heard. When you hear it over and over and over again, faith is built up. That's how faith comes. Faith comes by hearing. So I've got to hear it over and over and over again. It's interesting that this word, heart, right, has here in it. It is the most influential to your heart, what you hear. Not so much what you see. What you see is important as well, but what you hear is far more important. And you need to hear it from your voice. It's your voice. Okay? Let me go a little further. That's how God talks to you, in your voice. It's not some audible, oh, my daughter. He talks in your voice. So what you say to yourself is more important than what anybody else says. So control your desire with your five senses. Control your desire with what you're saying about yourself. Does that make sense? I'm the head, not the tail. I win. Everything I do is blessed. You've got to say these things to yourself, or if you don't, guess what? The enemy's going to tell you the opposite.
Yep.
And if you hear him enough times, you're going to start believing that nonsense.
Wow.
You're going to believe whatever it is that you hear on a repetitious basis. It's the way you've been trained. It's the way you've been created with your five senses. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, see this word right here? Faith. It has to do with time. Give yourself time. It doesn't happen overnight. When I start this journey at 21, I'll be 36 in July. It's been 15 years. I didn't get here overnight. So stop being in a rush. Be patient. Patience doesn't mean you're not doing anything. That's lazy. Okay? Patience is maintaining a positive attitude through all the challenges that you're going to go through, because you know what the end result is.
Yes.
You got to think like that. Begin with the end
In mind.
in mind.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I begin with my desire. Does that make sense? And then I find ways to experience my desire. Guys, this $10,000 a month, that's nothing. That's a walk in the park. If that. I think it's even less than that. Okay? But that same formula that I'm giving you right now for $10,000 a month, it works for $10,000 a day. It works for $10,000 an hour. And that's what I'm talking about. $10,000 an hour? See, now that got me excited. Well, I appreciate you guys for inviting me out. Hopefully you were able to get a lot out of today. Keep watching. And we'll talk to David and Anointed and Millionaire. So we got David in March, May. So maybe I would say either July or August, we put together a regional event here in San Diego. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. See you soon.
Yo, guys, one more time, everybody for David. One more time. Thank everybody for coming out. tonight. Have a great night, everybody. Love everybody.
Woo!
Love. Okay. Hey guys, I